that little kid. But you special, man. You reached out and you touched the
That's right. It's going to be the new sensitive online Big Blue. This is Tim. This is Online Big Blue Sports. Bringing you the best New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. I'm going to be more sensitive now. I'm going to be more open. I'm going to be more understanding. Some people said yesterday that my video was a little rough because of the fact that, I pointed out facts and used statistics. And some people didn't like the tone I spoke in regards to what I was saying about Daniel Jones and everything like that. And you know what? Sometimes you have to find it within yourself to understand other people's feelings. And, I just would like to say,
well, boo fucking who?
If you didn't like it, I don't care. The truth shall set you free. And that's why people listen to this channel, because they want the truth. They want the honesty. They want everything in between. Want to talk about the Giants. Want to talk about AJ Klein. Want to talk about Old Timers Day because you had Landon Collins and OBJ in the building. I want to talk about AJ Klein first. Good signing for the Giants if it was 4 years ago. And I'm not trying to be mean about it. I'm not trying to, I'm not disparaging AJ Klein, but AJ Klein is a guy that's been in the league for a while. He's a former Dave Gettleman pick out of all people. But he's at the tail end of his career. He's 31 years old, former fifth round pick for the Carolina Panthers in 134 career games, 80 starts, 449 tackles, 307 solo, 43 for loss, 27 quarterback hits, 15.5 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 20 pass defenses, 4 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. Good career. Not a great career. Good career for a guy that was a 5th round pick. He earned the venerable Pro Football Focus's 53.3 grade in 2021. His best season came in 2025 when Pro Football Focus gave him 79.8, and we all know Pro Football Focus is crap. 6'1", 240 pounds. Signed to the practice squad. He's replacing Jalen Smith off the practice squad, who, of course, was activated to the roster for a veteran minimum contract. I mean, he's probably better than some of the players that we have on the roster right as we speak. I think the Giants are trying to tweak their linebacking core because as much as people want to complain about the defensive line, it's not the defensive line that's having the majority of the issues. It's the linebacking core. It's the ability of not to maintain the edge. It's the ability not to make the tackles once you get into the second level. It is what it is because, it's just we are light on talent in certain positions. And I'm like I said, AJ Klein, his career high tackles was 75 in 2020. 2021, he had 35 tackles in 15 games, 4 started. He's going to be a spot guy coming in. He may even start. What I think people need to understand and what people need to look at is when you sign someone to the practice squad, you sign them to a practice squad contract, which can be anywhere between $8,000 and $8,000 and like $18,000 a week. So they don't really count against the salary cap. It's once they get activated on the roster, do they immediately go to, and a player such as AJ Klein and Jalen Smith automatically get the veteran minimum contract. Right now, the Giants only have about $4 million in cap space. So you figure if you activate and elevate AJ Klein, you're probably looking at $1.5 million out of that space gone to bring him onto the team. So people need to remember that when you're on the practice squad, you don't count against the cap. When you hit the active 53-man roster, that's when you count against the cap. And the Giants need to watch that cap space like a hawk. That's why I laugh when people are like, well, we need to trade Kenny G or we need to cut him. We don't have the cap space to do that. And it would be great in a perfect world to get rid of Kenny would be the way to go. But right now we just don't have that available cap space. That's all we're going to say about that. Landon Collins, of course, came in for a visit yesterday. We talked about this a little bit. I wouldn't mind Landon Collins coming back, to be honest. I really wouldn't. I was thinking about it yesterday because we did a video about it yesterday as well. I mean, does the reunion make sense? Yeah, it does. I mean, he would be a perfect guy in the wink system. He is a guy that can play the strong safety position. He's a guy that can turn around and also play a little bit quasi linebacker. Is it a perfect fit? Is it a perfect marriage? No. Because once again, Landon Collins is on the, while he's only 28 years old, he's got a lot of miles on that pelt for being only 28. He missed much of 2020 due to a knee injury. He did kind of bounce back and play the hybrid role a little bit for 13 games last year. He made a career high 3 sacks, recovered 2 fumbles, and registered 81 tackles, 7 for losses last season. 3-time Pro Bowler. Had an All-Pro season back in 2016. To me, he probably should have been the defensive MVP. He could fit that Logan Ryan Peppers role that was running the Patrick Graham system. We talked about that ad nauseum during that year that Logan Ryan and Peppers played almost 78% of the snaps inside the box, that they were more of a quasi linebacker. And with the loss of Julian Love to the concussion, like I said, we don't know what Love's going to come back. We don't know, when he's going to come back. You also have to remember, if you have a concussion, and you're the team, you are probably not going to want to put a guy on a plane with a concussion and fly him 7-8 hours to a different country. You're probably not going to want to do that. So would Collins be able to step in right now and play on Sunday? Probably not, because we're already looking at Tuesday. Giants are leaving Thursday. So pretty much I'm feeling the squad they have right now is plus or minus someone they're going to take off the practice squad. It's probably what they're going to go with. So even if they signed him today, same with AJ Klein, if they sign him today, unless they extremely need them, I would find it very unlikely that they are going to turn around and bring them with them to London. Because like I said, they leave Thursday. So they leave in 2 days. So it's an interesting question. OBJ, of course, dropped by the Giants facility on Monday, sparking speculation that he's coming back. He's coming back. Although he wasn't there, he was not there for an official NFL visit. He was just visiting and stopped by to see some friends, including Saquon Barkley and Sterling Shepard. It was not an official free agent visit. And then they said that the truth is, I asked him if he could stop by and grab a notebook. I left it in the media room. He just said, let's see, Art Stapleton said, OBJ was in fact in the Giants facility today, but not for an official free agent visit per sources. Truth is, I asked him if he could stop by and grab a notebook. I left in the media room, and OBJ wanted to see Sterling Shepard. So he was, so it is what it is. He flew in to see some people who's prepared. Sterling is preparing to have surgery on his torn ACL. So he wanted to visit some friends in the Giant facility. It was not an official free agent visit. And this is what I don't understand. This is what makes my head hurt. He tore his ACL in February. It took Saquon Barkley almost a year and a half, 2 years to come back from that injury. You figured 8 to 12 months to come back from that type of injury. And OBJ has already had problems with injuries. And they're already saying that OBJ isn't expected to be clear from a torn ACL till sometime in November. And then he's going to weigh his free agent options. Sometime in November. It could be the end of November. It could be December. Anyone that tore their ACL, and I did it twice, will tell you don't know. There's no time frame. You could come back in 8 months. You could do an Adrian Peterson and come back in 7 months. It could take you 14 months. There's no time frame. And even if he starts weighing his free agency options in November, what? You're going to play December? He's going to go to a team that has a playoff opportunity. And I'm not saying the Giants don't have a playoff opportunity yet, but I'm just saying he is going to go to a team that has an opportunity to make the playoffs. And honestly, if I'm OBJ, I'm sitting a year out. Because the worst case scenario that can happen to you is you could go back and tear your ACL again. And that's just something it's just something you don't want to see. That's something you don't want to go through. It's crazy to even think that the Giants, and also looking at, like I said, we have $4 million in cap space. $4 million. I have a feeling that he's going to want a little bit more than $4 million. Not because he's not just going to be a rental. he is going to be someone that he's going to be looking for a contract for the remainder of this season and next. That's what I'm looking at. Right now, also, we're going to talk about Kenny G does not look promising. They're saying that his availability for the game against the Packers in London. But they're saying Wan'Dale Robinson and Kadarius Toney are making progress after missing the last 3 games and 2 games, respectively. I'll see it when I believe it. I believe it when I see it. Sorry, I got that reversed. My dyslexia is kicking in this morning. It's early this morning. We'll see what happens. We also have some other injuries we're looking at the Neal injury, the Glowinski injury, the Kayvon Thibodeau injury. He should be okay because he's got a back issue. There's also some uncertainty around Ozeo Jalari and his calf, and Julian Levis who's in concussion protocol. You know what? It's I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million times again. It's always the same thing. It's next man up. And that's the way you got to look at it. We're going to have a big stream today, I think at 4 o'clock. I don't know who's going to be on. Maybe the Dahmer, maybe some other guest. I don't know. But make sure you're there on this rainy Tuesday. And again, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, maybe subscribe. If you could ring that bell, you know what it means. That'd be awesome.